Welcome to One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I'm your host, Dr. P, Dr. Wayne Pernell, the Exponential Success Coach. This is a story of letting go. This is about me having been hiding from being truly authentic and how I've come to build confidence, self-confidence, and really how you can do the same. This is truly a story of peeling back because I had been putting on armor and essentially wearing a mask. And it happened years and years and years ago. And yet stuff keeps coming up. Like, is it safe? Right? We all face these. Is it safe to be my real self in front of these people, those people? And I want to just share some things with you that I think you can use on your path as I share some of the exciting things, the scary things, the unusual things that I've had to come face to face with. And well, here we go. Look, I just finished shooting the documentary called Big Stages. I am being featured as a speaker that is being followed in my development as a speaker. And who was I? How did I approach the stage? What did I learn? What lessons did I learn? What has allowed me to step forward and be a little more powerful, a little more grounded, and a whole lot less showy, right? It's no longer about being big and puffy or following the people I thought I had to be. And I wanted to share with you something that came up a few months ago. It was an old story that I'd carried with me from adolescence, probably, maybe even earlier, pre-adolescence. So it's been with me for decades. And this story that I kept telling myself really interrupted my ability to be authentic in certain relationships. And I'm glad to let it go. I'm glad to land in a place where just being me is enough. And this is a shift, I think, in the way that I'm bringing information to you, because filming Big Stages caused a shift in me, and it allowed me an even greater perspective in how I had been and how I now choose to live my life. So this documentary has changed me. That said, I wanted to share with you the idea that I said I'd been carrying with me for decades, and that is, it's this: I don't dance, right? It's like we all have those things. Oh, I couldn't stand up in front of people. Oh, I could never make a speech. Oh, I just don't I don't dance. I don't dare to dance. Or I don't dare to give my best of myself. I don't dare to be expressively free in whatever way, writing poetry, journaling, even though it's private journaling. Some people just can't because they don't dare to come face to face with their own truth. And this podcast is about that. It's one sharp sword cutting through to what matters most. And what matters more than you being real with yourself? I'm going to ask that again. Just think about that. What matters more than you being real with yourself? If you can't do that, how are you going to be effective in any other way in the world? So I don't dance was an old story. It was my mantra. It was something I used to say in order to keep from feeling awkward. It was a wound that I had from high school, pre-high school. And I was teased actually about how ridiculous I looked being on a dance floor. And so Um, I I just chose not to dance. I don't dance. Why? Because I was teased. What does teasing mean? Well, it means that I was pushed away. I was ostracized, or at least in my head. And this is really important. The idea of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be is one thing. The idea of letting go of who we think other people think we're supposed to be is even bigger. Letting go of the idea of who we think other people think we're supposed to be. We're projecting all kinds of stuff on people. I'm going to guess that the people who teased me, they would have stopped teasing me had I continued to dance, even if I was awkward, even if I was stupid looking, whatever, just like flailing. Who knows what I looked like as an adolescent? Uh, but the idea is we tell ourselves these stories about who we think we're supposed to be based on who we think other people think we're supposed to be. I don't dance, right? And so this has been for me an amazing journey of letting go. And I'm sharing this with you as a way of encouraging you to look at what stories have you carried with you. I grew up with the idea that people were watching me and the whole notion of what would people think, um, and worse, what would people think, for goodness sakes? It's like, uh, so what? I realized that I had taken on some shame, perhaps, of the people that were significantly influential in my life. And I mean my parents. They were amazing people. And yet, in their era, there was a very proper way of being. And so I was taught that there was a very proper way of being. And that meant you don't let anything that's not perfect be out there. And luckily, we live in a time where people are showing all their crazy. It's out there. All their eccentricities, I should say, right? So, eh, all their unique flaws. We all have them. It's part of what makes us perfect. If we weren't uniquely flawed, how boring would our lives be? So the whole idea is that what we think about has to be made conscious, right? The work is to make conscious the unconscious scripts that we've been living, because many of those unconscious scripts are lies. They're not actually true. I don't dance, or if I dance, I'm ridiculous looking. To whom? And so what? Right? The lies of judgment, the lies of being left out. And it's hard to reconcile that a lot of my life, I was in fact hiding from being authentic, the real authentic me. I felt like I had to be the jester. The good news about that is I became a magician, right? So I was, and I am funny. I hope. Darn it. I was, and I am, um, right, quick-witted, sometimes a little sarcastic, which sometimes crosses the line. And being a magician, I was certainly an entertainer, right? So that was all part of it. Uh, it's a strange thing because my doctorate is in clinical psychology. And there's the giant should. I should know this stuff. I should know that I'm hiding. I should know uh, that what other people say doesn't matter. And rationally, I knew that. And it's taken some work And it's been decades of work to get to a place where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I am becoming more and more aware, and have been over the past many, many years, become more and more aware of the scripts that I've been running in my head. And I'm sharing this because I really want you to become aware of anytime you stop yourself, anytime you hear a should, anytime you hear, oh, that's not good enough, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, or that's for someone else to do. That's not me. If it's something that's calling you, if it's something that's looks like fun that other people are having, but it's not you, check the scripts you're running. Someone told you that, right? So we are all quirky, and that's great news. The question is, what do you want to do with your quirkiness? So a few months ago, my daughter got married. And it's amazing. It was one of the best weddings I attended. And there is a father daughter dance that happens. And the old script of, well, I don't dance. Like, there's going to be a father daughter dance, and I don't dance. And the truth is, and this is the work, people may or may not judge me. That was the work. I had to know and get very clear about it's my daughter's wedding first. And second, a father daughter dance. Everybody's going to be gathered around, and they're looking at two people on a dance floor. People will judge me or not. But if they did, the second thing to keep in mind is that's about them. That's not about me. Their judgment is about them. And again, I'm hoping you get this, that anytime you feel judged by anyone else, it is about the other person. That judgment has nothing to do with you. And third, skill level. I may or may not be good at dancing. I can be on a dance floor with my daughter. And that's a gift. It's not about me. None of the judgment is about me. So the whole idea here is the theme of any judgment that comes in, don't let it stop you from being the authentic you that you really are. I had let judgment squelch a big portion of who I was. And I turned it into, I can be big, I can be funny, I can be anything, but don't watch me dance. I don't want to look awkward. I don't want to look like, right? So anytime you feel self-conscious, what are you feeling self-conscious about? You're feeling self-conscious about a judgment from someone else that isn't yours. So for me, stepping onto a stage, it's me. Like, it's me on stage. There's no elephants or, aerialists or anything else to distract people. It's me. And I had to get really comfortable with it's me. I used to do, for decades, I was in front of people. I was teaching, I was training, I was speaking. I'm good in front of people. I'm good here, I hope. And if you, if you don't like it, well, you have a choice. I'm going to keep producing these. And I hope you get that the tone of this is slightly different than before. Because I want it to be. I want to be here with you in this way. So where I didn't feel like I could be authentic before, in public anyway, I've changed over the past couple of years, especially. And I've been thinking about this. When my dad passed away, that's been a year and a half plus at this point. A lot of things changed inside of me. I wasn't doing me for someone else anymore. And I hadn't realized how strong the subconscious tie was. And I think that that's an important piece here too. There are decades to sort through for both me continuing and for you as well. And I think that that's something to be looking at and listening to and examining and going back to who imposed judgment on you that might have created some rules in your head that you've been living by that aren't real. They're just not real. Well, I made a decision, at least about dancing and about other things in my life. And at my daughter's wedding, I danced. I danced with her. I danced with all kinds of people at the wedding. I even was part of a line dance. I danced with old friends. I danced with new friends. I danced. And if anyone was watching or judging me, the judgment was about them. I don't claim to be a great dancer. I want you to remember that not the, I don't claim to be a great dancer. That's not some disclaimer. The whole thing is, what is it that you've been embarrassed to share? Where have you been hiding a little piece of your authentic self? What armor or facade could you let go of? What do you no longer need? Because the lesson here is that if you want people to accept and to trust you, then you need to accept and trust yourself first. It's that simple. Keep making your magic. Keep showing up real and authentic. And keep tuning in to One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I'd like to invite you to just go to a website to see if this is a match for you also. I'm running a small group. It happens a few times over the course of a year. It's coming up again. And I would love for you to check out exponentialsuccesssummit.com. There's a lot of S's in there. exponentialsuccesssummit.com. Check that out. Just see if it's a match for you, because this could be your time. All right. This is One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I'm your host, Dr. P, the Exponential Success Coach. Thanks for joining me.